Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Alex McIsaac, Liverpool manager.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. All right.
Right, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. Good. So a couple of questions. Just to want to evaluate on last season, how you thought it went. Come so close to winning the league. Do you think only taking 1 point from 2 games against Roma had something to do with it?
I think so. I think being top of the league for the majority of the season, to throw it away that close to the end, it was a massive kick in the teeth actually for myself and all the players. But Roma, mind, Bowden's got them set up. Played to their strengths, obviously they've got Ronaldo up front, they play defensive football and catch you on the counter. It's pretty good, really impressed with their team, I'm surprised they didn't finish a little bit higher up the season, if I'm honest with you.
What do you think the highlights of the season was?
Highlights, being top of the league again for the majority of the season. There was a massive buzz around the club, fans were, thrilled to bits. But personally I think beating Atletico Madrid 5-1. I mean, I'm a personal friend of Baird, and there's a bit of banter between them. It was a good feeling, giving them a good thrashing. Just unfortunately we couldn't do the double, It's just one of those things.
So how are preparations going for the new season? Have you made any new plans and made sure the same mistakes aren't going to happen again next season?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of players that we're after. To strengthen the squad, obviously we need a little bit more depth. Trainings, well, as you know, the World Cup's coming up in a couple of weeks, so the players are out with their respective countries. They're all focused on that, looking forward to that. All we can do at the club, is identify targets, identify other clubs' targets to try and, get our tactics right for next season. But overall, at the moment, it's relaxed, and I think we're just going to enjoy the World Cup and hope the players can come back uninjured. I think.
There's been a lot of talk about Yaya Toure in the past, certainly when he was at Manchester City, that he wasn't treated with the respect that he deserves. What have you done to make sure the same doesn't happen here at Liverpool?
Well, we make sure we get him a cake every week. That pretty much keeps him happy. And a card now and again, that brings a smile to his face. Players like that, you just need to keep them happy and know what makes them tick, and just generally keep everything flush and smooth.
So is that treatment only to Yaya, or is that to other players as well?
Every single player gets the same treatment. Spend a fortune on cards and cakes.
So yeah, you mentioned just before there about signings. Jefferson Farfan, he's already come in.
He has, yes.
And like you said, training's not on Roman pre-season, it's yet to start. People are away for the World Cup. Have you got anyone else in mind? And with Farfan coming in, what happens with? There's a lot of talk about Daniel Sturridge's future at the club.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to Sturridge in a moment. But as for other signings, got Farfan's came in, pacey winger. You can get a good ball in. Hopefully Van Persie and Suarez can feed off him. There's a couple of other areas I'd like to try and strengthen. The chairman's given me some funds to spend, but I'm trying to spend it wisely. I don't want to rush into the transfer market and blow millions on players which aren't going to add that much. After all, it's if you've got a good squad, a good team, that's what counts most. So we're not after a massive star signing or anything like that. We just want to just build on what we've got. Sturridge, he's a good little player. He's obviously in the England squad. He's aware his mind's focused on that at the moment. He just didn't perform last season for me, I thought. I've told him this. He understands where I'm coming from. He's happy to stay and fight for his place. And we've had no offers in yet for him, but if any come in that might be thought about, he might want to a move away from the club might be good for him. So we'll keep him. He's got an open mind. but he's just happy to be in England squad, and that's as far as that goes at the moment.
Thank you. Just talking about signings there, we believe that there was interest in Gareth Bale from both Monaco and Milan. What can you tell us about that?
Bale's not for sale, you know. We've had a few inquiries about him, but you know he's a really important player for our team, and you know we don't want to lose quality like that. So you know, again, he's not for sale. Bale, he's going nowhere. He's happy at the club, and you know he doesn't want to go anywhere.
And we've also heard that Tottenham and manager Andrew Hayes made an inquiry for Yaya Toure in part exchange with Royce.
Yep.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, there's some truth in that, yes. Tottenham did come, they did approach us about that swap. There was some money involved as well. But you know, Yaya Toure, he's a great player for us. He's big, he's strong, puts a good tackle in. You know, and he's a player that we want to keep. You know, earlier on I said we didn't want to sell to rival clubs. That policy comes into effect in this instance. You know, and as for Royce, being offered Royce, we looked at him and he didn't really fit into what we're trying to do here at Liverpool. We've got players, similar players, playing in his position, and we weren't happy with that. So yeah, it didn't go anywhere at all. That was rejected.
There was also a few rumours about this deal that you had went back to them for Part X instead of Royce for Hugo Lloris. Is that right?
There's some truth in that as well. Yeah, we're trying to strengthen the defence, and with defence comes a goalkeeper. Lloris last season was excellent for Tottenham. You know, he's kept Tottenham in it, and to be honest, I think had a massive hand in them finishing where they did in the league at the end of the season. And he's a player that we would have liked to have brought to the club. Tottenham knew how important he was to them last season, and they rejected that comeback.
So it's safely say that goalkeeper is the area you're looking for.
One of the areas, yeah. We've got a couple of positions where we'd like to strengthen, and goalkeeper is definitely one of them. Yeah.
Do you have any names in mind?
I couldn't tell you that, or could I?
There have been some other transfers already gone through in the Magic Pass League. For example, Messi to Atletico Madrid. Rooney's gone to Champions AC Milan.
Yeah.
With David Silva going the other way to Tottenham. What impact do you think they will have on the new season at their respective clubs?
I think they'll do well for their clubs. You know, we're trying not to let other transfer affect how we're setting up our pre-season and how we're setting up our team. You know, it's the manager's business, the other team's manager's business. You know, who they bring in and where they play them. So transfers going back and forth between different clubs don't really interest us. You know, we just want to concentrate on our team and our players, and just get ready for the season that way. You know.
You have a few players away on World Cup duty this summer.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez, who has actually picked up a niggling injury there.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure, Steven Gerrard with England. Are you worried about players picking up injuries while they're away on international duty?
Yeah, that's always at the back of your mind. You know, when your players go away to play for the countries. I mean, it's a great honour, you know, to be picked, and a great privilege to play for your country. I would never stand in the way of any of my players going, you know, getting called up. Having said that, you know, we do worry about injuries. You know, they're playing for the fans, so that, you know, there's always a risk of them trying too hard, I guess, and you know, potentially picking up a couple of knocks. But you know, the national teams, they've got great coaches, they've got great medical staff, and they'll be well looked after. And you know, all us managers can do is just hope that the players come back in good condition. You know, give them a little bit of a rest, and then get them into pre-season and into the new season.
And quickly, just before we go, just your prediction for the new season. Where do you think realistically you can see yourself lining up? Like we'll say, there's these signings Atletico Madrid have made, for example. They've signed Messi, Neymar, Falcao, and they've also got Hulk in their front quartet, as it were. Do you see them challenging for the title, or do you see going back to Milan again, or could Roma fit in there? Monaco, obviously, they've sold a couple of players.
Well, I think there's been a lot of players trading clubs, you know, getting swapped around. Like I said before, we try not to let that bother us. The league's going to be extremely strong this season. A lot of teams have spent a lot of money on bringing players in, you know, which they believe are going to help them. All we can do is just try our best, try to improve on last season, you know, and just try and shore up our defence. You know, we drew a lot of games last season. You know, I think a couple more wins would have took us to the top of the league, but you know we let it slip. And you know we know where we need to strengthen, and that's all we're focusing on. And the season will pan out how it pans out. You know, it's out, you know, all we can do is play football to our strengths, try our best, and hopefully we'll do all right. But you know, I'll always wish the other teams the best of luck. It's a tough league, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thanks.